Good hydration should begin early in the day, before you even set foot on the playing field. Stay hydrated by drinking plenty of water during the day leading up to your game or practice, especially in the 2 to 4 hours before. Then you'll want to continue to drink during the game 4 ounces of water every 15 minutes. After the game or practice, you'll also want to ensure that you replace body water lost in your sweat, along with adding back electrolytes lost in higher volumes, along with water such as sodium and chloride. These minerals keep your nerves, brain, muscles, and heart functioning normally. How do you know what to use for hydration? Well, water is always the best. Leading up to a game or practice, or during the game or practice, especially if the length of the practice or game is less than an hour, water is best. No need to reach for some fancy sports drink or powder just because you saw it on a commercial with some athlete getting paid money to sell you something. If you're exercising longer than an hour, or if it's really hot where you're exercising, say you're playing outside in the heat, or you're just a super excessive sweater. Hey, me too. Seriously, don't worry about it. Sweat is a natural way for our bodies to regulate our body temperature, helping us to release heat and therefore keeping our bodies cool when we're performing. Think about it like our own built-in internal fan. And it's common for athletes large in size or with higher muscle mass to sweat more than their counterparts. Unfortunately, many athletes think that they need to be consuming sports drinks or other well-marketed beverages in order to enhance their performance, when really these drinks tend to be really high in sugar and unnecessary calories and not high in sodium as athletes need in order to replenish their lost electrolytes. Drinks such as Gatorade and Body Armor and others are developed to be consumed during very intense exercise lasting more than an hour, where the athlete would need to replace glycogen stores that are being used during prolonged exercise. So, what should you look for in a sports beverage, and when should you drink them? In a sports drink, look for not only something that tastes good so that you're willing to drink it, but look for something with about 15 grams of carbohydrates per 8 ounces of fluid. You also need to look for sodium. You need something that provides around 250 milligrams of sodium per 12 ounces, which is the average lost in 1 pound of sweat. When it comes to replacing magnesium, potassium, calcium, and protein, there are sports beverages that are available that contain those nutrients. However, these nutrients are best replaced by healthful eating post-exercise in order to aid in your recovery. The most important nutrients for hydration during and post-exercise are water, sodium, and carbohydrates. One of the best ways to know exactly how much fluid we need to be replacing after exercise is by weighing yourself before exercise without gear or heavy clothes on, and then weigh yourself again after an hour of intense exercise in the same way. This will help give you a rough estimate about how much water you need to drink for every hour of intense exercise. Basically, for every pound lost, athletes need to refuel with at least 16 ounces of fluid. So for example, if you lost 2 pounds of weight after an hour of heavy exercise, then you need to consume at least 32 ounces of water, or about 4 cups. By the time the average body signals that it's thirsty, up to 1% of body weight may have already been lost. This loss can cause your heart to beat faster, it can cause your body to burn needed energy stores, and it can even cause your brain to be foggy, or you'll have trouble concentrating. So remember, be sure to know how much water your body needs and to drink before you become thirsty. Now, with that being said, we also need to remember that if we're drinking too much water, our stomach's gonna feel all sloshy. The best way to tell that if you're well hydrated, while it's a bit odd, is to take a look at your urine. If it's darker in color or it's dark yellow, you may be dehydrated, or you may need to go see your doctor. Oftentimes, muscle cramps are believed to be associated with dehydration and electrolyte imbalances. So, if you're not only a hyper sweater, but if you're also caked in salt after you work out, or you commonly experience muscle cramps, you need to ensure that you're not only hydrating with water, but you're also replacing the sodium that your body is losing while you're sweating. If you're an athlete that sweats a lot or works out for prolonged periods of time or at very high intensity, it'll be important for you to ensure that you're replacing this sodium during your workouts. The goal is to replace sodium with between 250 and 400 milligrams of sodium per hour of intense exercise or sweating. But remember, the more you train in the heat and become acclimated to intense exercise, the less sodium you'll lose as your body learns to regulate its temperature more effectively to conserve those nutrients. Pretty cool, right? So, pre-game, about 4 hours before your workout or your competition, the goal for athletes is to consume about 1 ounce of water for every 10 pounds of body weight. Stay tuned and don't forget to put into practice all of the things today that you learned about hydration so you can practice and perform at your best.